Alright, so that's what disobeying orders feels like. Not so good.
Did you figure it out?
Please say yes.
Yeah, we're good to go. With this, I can destroy the Binding Stone. We just have to get close enough to Sandrak.
How do you propose we do that when we don't even know where he is?
This mark gives me a connection to the Binding Stone. I can feel where it is. I can feel where Sandrak is. He's moving east, towards the Deepmere.
There's a font in the ocean.
Sounds like it. All right, pack it in. We're leaving soon.
What's the play, sir?
Devin and I will stay here at the Shrine Forge for a bit. See if we can find anything else of interest.
And rig it to blow when the Rashanians return.
You need to get back to the Palathon and brief Kirkin. She'll figure out our next steps. But when you use that mark to destroy the Binding Stone, I want to be there. I want to see Sandrak's face when you just crumble it in his hand.
You don't have to tell me twice, sir.
All right. That'll be all, Initiate. Now head back to the Palathon.
I'm back at the Palathon.
Well done, soldier. Meet me in the vault. We can finally have that conversation that I've been trying to avoid.
Sir?
Back here, Jack. Here. This dossier is for you. My report of Sandrak's time as an immortal.
I was hoping for more than a summary. You know, for us to talk about it.
It will have to do. I don't like to talk about Sandrak, because I don't like remembering him as a friend. We fought alongside each other for 30 years, Jack. I depended on him, would have given my life for his. And all of that is gone. It does me no good to relive it. To let it in, I might also invite a mercy where I can have none. Come. Show me the mark you recovered from the Shrine Forge.
Sure.
It lets you feel the movements of the Binding Stone?
Yeah. Sandrak's definitely sailing the Deepmere, but his movements are weird. Erratic.
Unfortunately, we can't afford to send a large force out to sea. Most of the Light's army musters at the front, and we need them to remain there. You, Zendara, and Devin will have to face Sandrak alone. Well, not exactly alone. My contacts in the Clayless Traders Guild provided us with a colossal during the Trenchship Rebellion. I never gave it back. It'll take time to wake her up. She's not seen service in a very long time. Captain Selko's a fine steersman, if I recall correctly.
And I can guide him to wherever Sandrak is using my mark.
That's the plan. Now, unless you have something else to ask me, that'll be all.
You've been hiding anything and everything about Sandrak being an immortal since day one. I deserve more than a report you wrote up.
Tell me, Jack, if you had a very close friend that you shared a common cause with for the longest time, a vision of what was right and true and good, and they betrayed that vision, betrayed you, how would you feel? Would you want to talk about it? Could you talk about it?
Yes, absolutely. I'd have to know how it even got to that point.
Sandrak and I were companion in arms for longer than you've been alive. We stood against the Kalthus estates, the Sea King usurper, the colossals of the Arjaman pretenders, even against Rasharn, his homeland. And then one day, he refused to participate in a mission that could have very well ended the war.
What mission?
Read the report.
And we're back to that.
Look, what's important is that Sandrak had orders, and he allowed his own hubris to ignore them. He made a decision that jeopardized the rest of us because he thought he knew better.
Yeah. Hubris sure is some bad news. It's terrible.
For the breaking of his oaths to the Order, I exiled him back to Rasharn as punishment, thinking his ancestral enemies there would be the death of him.
That last part didn't work out.
Not even a little bit.
All right. I've got everything I need, sir.
Zendara and Devin should have already returned by now. You'll all set out for the Deep Mere in the morning. Oh, one more thing. The Oromik girl, Kenzie. She wanted to speak to you when you returned from the Shrine Forge. I think she's a bit smitten with you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's limited to just me, sir.
Initiate, come up to the war chamber. Devin and I have decided that since we might die in the morning, we should,
Get hammered!
yes. That.
On my way. Silas,
Hello, sir.
now that Yothium is secured, do you have your reassignment?
You heard the Grand Magnus at your ceremony, sir. We're either meant for the front, or we're marching north to help Lavenry. The brass is still working out the details.
Have a preference?
The front, sir. Even though that's an airship over the wound and I have no stomach for flight, my mother and brothers are stationed there. Trenchers by trade, the lot of us. The Magnus that owns our debts likes his light list to fight his families. Has enough pull with the Light's army to ensure it happens.
So how did you end up here?
A clerical error, most like. Things got a bit scrambly when it was apparent Sandrak really meant it this time, going for the ley line tower. But, this way I get to tell Mom I fought alongside the hero of Yothium, right?
many Lightless does your Magnus oversee?
Can't count them all by now. He's been taking on the debts of hundreds of us from the other Magni for years. As I understand it, having an implied private army within the army is a mark of prestige in the dynastic houses. You know, like you'll be doing now that you're an immortal.
Yeah, no, I wasn't planning on it.
Are you serious? Debt collection seems wonderful to me. I mean, us Lightless have been trained at the country's expense, and our arms and armor aren't free, are they? It adds up fighting for one's king.
You know that's fucking insane, right? As a general line of thinking.
Huh. Is it? But then, who am I to question the ways of the Magni, sir? I might even be accused of being unpatriotic.
Kirkin was your father's commanding officer at Sundown 10?
Indeed she was, sir, ages ago. What a harrowing experience that was, by all accounts. My father's still shaken by it. Sundown 10's one of the few battles where Rasharn deployed its Archon battalion. Even though it was a Lucian victory, due to your Grand Magnus, of course, they say the Archons were granted rights of citizenship in Rasharn after that.
Their constructs are citizens?
Just the Archons, sir, for their valor in battle. They're allowed free worship, of what I can't begin to imagine, and have the vote so long as they serve in the Rasharnian armed forces for a span. That's what some of my squad mates used to say anyway, the older ones. It could just be a Lightless soldier's tale. You know how fanciful they can be when it comes to ideas of rights and opportunities and such.
That shouldn't have to be fanciful.
Now you're just pulling my leg, sir.
Sundown 10. Kirkin never talks about that battle.
That's strange, sir. She found her glory names there. Fury of the Broken March, the Warbird of Aquil. That's a tradition that's fallen out of favor, names of glory. I don't know why, they sound so crackerjack. Sundown 10's where the Grand Magnus had the accident with her arm, you know?
Hold on, you know that story?
Only as my father tells it. He says that after days and days of fighting, the Grand Magnus ended up overloading her sigil until it just fused into her arm.
Sigils are used to level your magic. That shouldn't have happened.
Father did say the Grand Magnus was arguing with her sigil constantly to lift that restriction. One day it finally gave in.
What? You can't do that.
I don't know, sir. She can be very intimidating.
When did you join the Lights Army?
When I was 13, sir. Mom and Dad thought it best if I went in before draft age. They feared if I went in with the normal conscripts, I'd learn all the wrong lessons. You know how they're always so rebellious at that age.
A bit. Still, that's stupidly young to be on the field, Silas.
I don't know. The king led his first charge when he was 12. Into the lines of the Red Colonel's rebels, no less.
Yeah, but the king is a Magnus of the strongest bloodline in Lucium, and he was riding a howler.
Yeah, and armored head to toe in unbreakable glimmer-spiked silver. I know. So if your king set such an example, me crossing my first swords at 13 doesn't seem so audacious, now does it?
I'd better go. Ambassador Damley?
Hello, Jack.
So what does the Royal Advisor do with the Palathon exactly?
On paper, I'm here to uphold the interests of the royal family and counsel the Grand Magnus on the Immortals' role in the Everwall.
I hear a but in there.
But, since Kirkin has enough authority in Lucium now to ignore me, I just skulk about, raiding the Palathon's wine collection and writing spicy letters of fabricated intrigue to the court back home.
I don't buy it.
You caught me. Since the Grand Magnus refuses to let me in, I must resort to simply spying on all of you. I'll be very discreet.
How widely known is it that Sandrak was an immortal?
Too widely for the Crown's liking. Still, given his record and years of service to Lucium, it's hard to hide it without resorting to somewhat amoral magic.
I spent 5 years in the Lights Army with Kirkin as my mentor, and I had no idea.
Losing him was a blow. He was a hero to Lucium. Rasham's strongest son, fighting against the corruption of his homeland. Many thought he would win us this war.
Until he became the war. So why did he quit and rejoin Rasharn?
Only one person in the Palathon knows that, and I can guarantee you she won't tell.
I hear Kirkin's the only one keeping us from surrendering to Rasharn.
You wound me, Jack. Who do you think convinced the king to speak with her in the first place? After Nocia, confidence in the Palathon's ability to wage this war...
Got shaken a bit?
It cratered.
Ouch.
Kirkin and I have our differences, but we both agree that it's crucial for the king to have faith in a Lucian victory. Ask Kalthis what Sandrak's peace looks like.
How well did you know Kirkin's predecessor, Thaddeus?
Not at all. His tenure was a long time ago. By all accounts, the Palathon and Lavenry enjoyed a less contentious relationship then. Grand Magnus Thaddeus was very popular in the capital.
Really?
His resignation from the Immortals was a bit of a scandal for reasons I'm not privy to. Naming Kirkin as his replacement caused a few raised eyebrows as well, but the royal family traditionally avoids interfering with the hierarchy of your order.
The king. Have you heard anything from him lately?
He's still in hiding. Royal communiques are few and far between. Why do you ask?
It's just, things are escalating.
Everyone feels it. Rasharn too easily presses in across the wound drifts. The forces Sandrak committed to the siege of Lavenry will not withdraw, and the front... If Kirkin has a plan, it would be nice of her to share it with me.
I have to go, Ambassador. Kenzie?
Over here, champ.
you get lost?
No, I just... Everwar Central here just kind of skeeves me out. And then someone told me about all those names out there being dead people, and it... The garden area thing, it was nice.
Yeah, the names hit me pretty hard too when I first got here.
I was going to leave, but then your boss lady said you were on your way back, and there I am thinking about dead people, and then of course I suddenly can't get Thaddeus out of my head.
I'm really sorry. I know you two were close.
He was such an asshole. Did he... When you hung out with him, did he talk about me at all? I really looked up to him.
Come on. You know he couldn't not mention you.
Really?
Really?
Oh. What'd he say? Huh? Come on, what'd he say?
He said you made him laugh so hard.
What? Laughed?
Yeah. You know, your whole, anti-establishment thing. He really got a hoot out of it.
A hoot. Okay, well, that's weird. I always thought that stuff annoyed him. He used to razz me about it. Like Devin without the smugness.
Yeah, I guess he just laughed a lot on the inside. Or, like, alone.
Alright then. I guess my job's done here. I'll be off.
We're heading out to the Deep Mirror tomorrow to beat the hell out of Sandrak. Wanna come?
The ocean? Oh, hell no. No one from Orman knows how to swim.
Well, neither does anyone from Saren. We'll both be trailblazers. Also, you're good in a fight. We could use that.
I helped you out once. Do it again and I'm just another pawn of the hegemony. Count me out, soldier boy.
Worth a try.
Swell digs, by the way. Pretty enlightening seeing how the other half lives.
Look now, I grew up in the Underbridge. In the slums. I just work here.
My bad. Totally didn't realize you were keeping it real.
Bye, Kenzie. And hey, thanks for the assist with finding the Shrine Forge.
See ya, hot stuff. Not much left to say, really.
I've got 100 Allori chasing me. Nowhere to go. All by myself. And then, boom! I'm grabbed by the neck. I can't breathe. Sure, just interrupt my story in the rudest, most disgusting way imaginable. That's cool.
I honestly forgot you were telling one. Oh, did I ever tell you guys about the time I almost turned 100 years old? My company was holed up in the trenches at True Haven Pass. I was still assigned to Light's army then. Medical watch, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a lie.
Absolutely serious. The Rashanians hit the trench with an aging spell. By morning, we're suddenly too tired to fight. We're too infirm. Our brains are muddled. We've got the cataracts. So, anyway, I see myself in a mirror, right? I look like my father. My father was a very unattractive man, Jack. We call him the Turtle. I am not going to age well.
So tell me, Sarah, when did you say to yourself, hey, bigotry, it's not really so bad, is it?
I have to make a far call.
Are you referring, Initiate, to why I think the unforeseen are a curse?
Yep.
Telenir was a small city in Kalthus. The priests there believed that the Lightless were given some divine role by the Pentasod, and they didn't allow Magni within their walls. Can you imagine? A city without magic?
I'm not an asshole, so yes.
One day, at some morning prayer, a young girl, in Unforeseen, just exploded with wild magic. She died screaming as spellfire erupted from her body. All of Telenir started burning. And because there were no Magni around, this wild magic went unchecked. The whole city, and everyone in it, were reduced to ashes.
That's all very sad and terrible, sir. But we're not all that little girl. That's not how it happened with me.
It could have. There's no protection against your kind. And when you do happen, more often than not, people around you die.
Okay, enough of that. My father always said the best way to mend bridges between parties that held wildly divergent opinions was to find a commonality in vice. Drink up, nerds.
Another.
How'd a fucking bird get in here?
Oh, good. You see it too?
You still have that thing about birds.
Birds absolutely do not give a shit about the way their heads look when they walk. I would be mortified.
Another.
Damn it.
Another.
Use your lash! Use your lash! I know. Another.
Am I dead?
It's him, isn't it? Sandrak's moving towards the font. Showtime, then. And listen, I may not like what you are, Jack, but I like who you are.
That feels really abstract and not entirely okay, but thanks, I think.
The Immortals are better because of you. And Lucium may end up surviving because an Unforeseen led the charge.
Morning, sir.
Unfortunately,
It was a good night, sir. I won my retirement fund betting on your skill at beer pong.
wait, you were there? I didn't see you.
You weren't seeing much by that point, sir. Duty calls, though. Come to the docks over in Thaven's Point. We're nearly ready to cast off.
All right. See you soon.
Does seasickness cancel out hangovers? Or is it more of an additive thing?
Welcome aboard, Immortals. What's our bearing, sir?
Can't give you anything precise, Captain, but north by northeast, 5 knots. If Sandrak changes course, you'll be the first to know. Something wrong?
Just the fact that this mission and the war hinges on something that we don't understand. At all.
We'll catch him, sir.